welcome back. Seafood Devon fan, Eight Immortals Wing Chun. Today we're going to talk about my favorite attack, my favorite hand in Wing Chun. It's a Biu Sau. So, Biu Sau. Biu Sau is a darting, you already know from the step Biu Ma. Biu Sau, Biu means darting. Hand, Sau means hand, so darting hand in Wing Chun. It's a snake hand in Wing Chun, okay? So, why is this technique so amazing, so exciting? This technique, when I first started learning Kung Fu, my Sifu, his main focus was Hung Gar. Hung Gar employs very large strikes, kind of big power type of Kung Fu. Actually, when I was beginning, I obsessed. I want to learn snake, I want to learn Sichuan, snake Kung Fu. Love snakes. All my life, I've been obsessed. I love the motion of snakes. Everything, they're delightful creatures if you don't know about it. Most people are scared of them. Actually, they're amazing creatures. So even from when the very beginning, you can see, here's me as baby admiring snakes. So that's what I love. Anytime I find them, even now I'm on a walk, if I know the sound. If I hear the sound, I automatically go pick up and hold to show the snake. So I love them ever since I was a baby. All my life, obsessed snakes. So then that's why I wanted to learn snake Kung Fu, to learn that motion, learn those attacks, okay? My Sifu, he knew snake Kung Fu. He was trained in Shaolin 5 Animal, but he didn't want to teach me because he just loves Hung Gar, obsessed, okay? So, like me with Wing Chun. But then finally I bother him all the time. So he gave in. After, he would insist I would have to learn Hung Gar technique, which I didn't want to learn. Then he would show me the snake technique afterwards. So you see how lucky you are. I just teach you. Many Sifus are not like that. Anyway, so then when I learned Wing Chun, okay, so as I explained to you, Wing Chun is a mixture of crane and snake. So Fujian White Crane and snake Kung Fu. There's often you see the motions they're put together, just like the step. The one I taught you, Biu Ma darting step, snake step. Xun Ma, the circle step, is actually a crane step. You'll see when I teach you that how those two in Wing Chun they meld together in a beautiful way. This hand here, it's really, really interesting. Most people, Wing Chun, it's true, okay? Biu Sau, so this technique is emergency technique, obviously, for obvious reasons. You see the strike predominantly, okay, is used here to strike, either you're striking the eyes or throat, is a main target, okay? It's usually considered soft target, okay, as you're striking. Because of that, because it's emergency technique, all Wing Chun practitioners, so many, okay? You see them practicing, they practice with their hand. Always you see them doing Biu Sau like this. I understand why, because in the forms, okay, everything passed down recent Wing Chun, you see the technique is practiced. I'm used to doing my way. You see the practice is just like this, okay? That's okay if you want to just use this as a distraction to get your opponent to back up. So you're having trouble, you throw this technique, you throw your hand up towards their eye just to get them to back up so then you can attack. Then it works okay, all right? Many Wing Chun practitioners, just because they're not actually trying this against target, okay? Many Wing Chun practitioners would tell you it's okay just to have your hand just like this, okay? I don't know if you can see, just like this, because it's only gonna hit soft target. That's a terrible idea, because anyone in a real situation, you're gonna see, you can't decide exactly. I'm me, I practice, you have no idea how much I practice shooting this attack. However, I practice against target. I do moving target. However, most people, you think you can hit exactly a soft target in emergency. Your opponent, your enemy's gonna move all over. If he ducks his head down, then you're gonna hit his hard skull. Anyone, I'll tell you, okay? Because when I first tried practice snake Kung Fu, I had terrible problems. Because when you first practice this, if you're just doing this, you think you try to use this in emergency, your hand like this, you'll be the emergency, okay? You're gonna break your hand, have all kinds of problems. You can't do Kung Fu that way, okay? These techniques, this is actually the best technique, but it's only the best technique if you train your hand. You have to train for it. So In actual snake kung fu, okay, this is their bread and butter attack. They practice, you have to make your fingers strong. So first, here's gonna be a problem because I could literally talk all day about this one thing. I have to make it simple. First thing you need to do, this is my way of doing it. So I will tell you it's a deviation right now. However, this comes from the actual, where the root of this comes from. Sometimes in Wing Chun, you'll see this when we get to Fu Sau, you have to look at the root to understand it. People who don't understand the root, they just show you what they think the technique is, but don't understand where it comes from. So I took snake kung fu. When you look at how to make the hand in snake kung fu, not keep your hand like this with straight fingers, okay? Don't try this. You go up to something hard, heavy bag, whatever, poke your hands like this. I can do it. You're gonna hurt your fingers doing that, okay? Because all the energy is on the tip of your finger like this. The way you're gonna make a hand is how we actually do it in snake kung fu, okay? For Biu Sau, same technique, but different hand. Instead of have your hand like this, okay? You're gonna take this secret. You take your thumb, the thumb creates a channel here, supports this whole structure. That's number one, okay? You tuck your thumb, you can see. You tuck your thumb in there, sliding up. This supports this whole structure. Second thing is also important. You're gonna look at my hand. There's a slight curve to all my fingers here. This makes this, so my thumb pressed against there. You have to be able to do that last minute. This structure, inherently, that's the actual snake hand, okay? Becomes very strong. At first, I'll show you the ways to practice it. But the structure itself here, when you strike, much, much more strong, has much more penetrating power than just put your hand like this, okay? Just put your hand like this, I promise you. Unless you just use it as a distraction, you're gonna break your fingers doing it. Okay? Then it's not an emergency technique. Emergency means you use an emergency, okay? So, disclaimer, Esther, I'm sorry, she was talking about how to use defensive ways not to hurt people in Kung Fu. That's a great question, not for this one. This more for emergency. So this technique, the Biu Sau, is if you're in a life-threatening situation, which is when you should be using your Kung Fu anyway, okay? So this is in a situation where, and I've been in these situations before, okay? Sometimes terrible situation, if you get jumped by multiple people, whatever, you can easily die in those situations. And I'll tell you, for me and myself, those situations, the thought that went through my head, I hope it doesn't happen to you, was, and I'm a very peaceful person, okay? Thought that went through my head was, no matter what, I'm going home to my family. You may do all this, I'm going home to my family, okay? In those situations, you find yourself in that situation, sometimes people do terrible things, then that's what this is for, to get you out of a really bad situation, okay? However, like I said, for it to be an effective weapon, if you don't train this, don't create this to turn it into a weapon, then it's just gonna be nonsense, okay? Again, you think you have something as fantasy technique. This is a real technique. So first you practice making the hand like this. So slight curve to your fingers here. It will come naturally after a while you practice this. Then you put your thumb behind there. Here's one secret, okay? Many people, they try to throw, it becomes like a chop. We have that motion in Wing Chun, it's not this motion. The actual Biu Sau, the strike has to come straight out, okay? So if I'm attacking from here, it comes straight towards you, shoot straight towards you. Doesn't go to the side like that. That's a different attack. The nature of the snake is it strikes quickly out like that. It has to strike from there. In the forms you see, it comes from underneath here. That's because if you're trapped, they're trying to teach you a recovery. You don't put it under your arm to do it in practice. You don't shoot from here. If you're stuck there, you can shoot. Otherwise, the strike comes from this place here, okay? Movement strike, moving strike, all right? Also, you can obviously see the Pak Sau strike, you can create an opening. You already learned Pak Sau. Tan Sau can turn here. So many different, the main one, Jut Sau, but we'll teach it later. So the main thing you focus on is that hand position. Now, before we get too long, only gonna work. You have to start practicing. Start practicing now. You can practice start with something very, very soft. So you get a nice pillow, soft pillow, have someone hold, then get this hamstring, focus all your energy there, stay loose, relax. You practice to shoot against something soft like the pillow, okay? Practice the shooting technique. With this technique, really just comes from those elbow muscles we're developing using the tan sound, that motion there, same motion. You don't really need to put much more into it because the nature of the targets you're hitting, and because it's your fingertips, speed is the most important. Speed is more important than power. It's so concentrated, there's plenty of power, okay? So when you get this used to this, you do this against soft pillow, then there's a number of different ways to train it. So I'll show you this away from snake kung fu. It's important. This one's for my kids. It's you need something deep enough. Do deeper, you hit the bottom. You'll see. You can put. I have a mix of like rice and lentils in here because that's very soft. Okay. Then you can practice. Start. This is a good way to start. Rice, lentils. You practice watching TV, watching movies, whatever. Then you just practice. My assistants are all sleeping. You practice just and you practice doing this. Then when it feels too easy, at first if it's too hard you can make it just lentils maybe. If it feels too easy, then eventually you move to you can try different things, okay? But don't try to move up so quickly. Then you can have the sand, then you can have wet sand. You can use like gravel and small stones, but that's for later. For now, just focus on lentils and things like that. Then another great way to train this one I found so useful. So Napoleon's sleeping, so he's not here, but you have the focus mitt. You focus on this white, see the white circle in the middle? If you want to you can even put a smaller one. Then you have them hold the focus mitt, okay? First, here's your opponent's head, just like a head, okay? You focus on the eye. So then from here, you focus on hitting that spot. Then you have your friend, you move this around, then you focus, and you focus on hitting a moving target. That's also very useful. And if you can have them adapt. Say first, you have them go easy, let go, then they can create more pressure, okay? Then eventually, you're doing those things, eventually this will get so strong, even if you hit a hard target, nothing can hurt it, okay? So I know if I use this technique, doesn't matter if I hit skull, bone, whatever, it's not gonna hurt my hand, okay? Because it's very used to a lot of practice doing it. If you have something else with a little bit of give, so I'm gonna show you this wooden dummy. Has also, mine, I'm so lucky because my wooden dummy has like the yin yang symbol. I can't say it's a face on the front. This one you can also use to practice. So, I'm not doing this properly. So here you hold this. This has a little give, so it's okay, it will move. This also is wonderful. I can't have someone else hold it. I have these flies here. These ones are great because you can practice. And it has some resistance. Actually, the glass is perfect. If you have a curtain, you just paint eyes on it, and then or some target, and you can go. I practice. You can try to do 10 in a row. You do different positions. It's very useful to do it that way. So those are the basics. So you practice making this hand. Then after you're comfortable, you do your training practice with your rice or your lentils. Then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. Then I also use the heavy bag. But don't do the heavy bag yet. When you get more comfortable, you can use heavy bag, you can use speed bag. This attack is a so useful attack. Then when you practice that, you practice moving, you practice from your stance, we already learned. Then you just practice shooting from different positions, okay? Also, we use this one here. If you have trouble on this side, you can shoot this way. You can shoot that way. There are so many different applications. Also, last time you already saw this one, Wing Chun Biu Sau. You already learned Wing Chun Biu Sau. Naturally turns into Biu Sau. Best technique, but you have to train, make your hands strong. Don't try it on something hard right away, okay? Make sure, just start with a pillow, go very, very slowly, start with lentils. Lentils and pillow just go very, very slowly. Then slowly you build up, you'll be shocked after a while, okay, some months of practice, how powerful it gets. That's technique, okay? So, all right, Biu Sau, snake hand. Until next time, come back. Esther, I promise we'll have more peaceful techniques coming up. This one just because people are sleeping so I can show you without them. All right, till next time, see if you haven't fan, 8 Immortals Wing Chun. Keep practicing, stay strong.